All right, how you doing? This is Regis, and tonight I'm going to just go through the Shattered Throne on a Hunter. It's Season of the Lost. I know that doing Shattered Throne and all that, it's a pretty old challenge, old triumph, but new players coming into the game. Maybe you're somebody who has always wanted to try to do Shattered Throne, maybe just get the solo done, get the emblem, or you want to try to get Seriously Never Again, which is the triumph that one gets for completing the entire thing without dying. So I'm gonna do a playthrough here, and I hope obviously not to die at all, but I've done this a number of times. I usually do it every season. I've done it the most on Hunter, so I'll try to work my way through it and talk about some different strategies that you can try to employ. I don't always use Sixth Coyote, but it's a nice exotic for this particular encounter. The thing with Hunter is it gives you this safety blanket. You have this constant invisibility, and I would say use it to your advantage. If you're a purist or if you're trying to do this in a way that doesn't involve something like Hunter Dodge or Invis, maybe you kind of see that as cheesy. More power to you. I have solo flawless this season, but for that I did that on Warlock. So I mainly play on Titan, although truth be told, I have about the same amount of hours on all three classes. So I view being good at all three classes as a goal. So I try not to favor one more than the other. But if you were to twist my arm and say, hey, what do you prefer? I definitely would rather play on Titan. So, but let me run this and see how it goes. You want to take full advantage of particle destruction. That's the seasonal mod, and frankly, fusion rifles are extremely strong right now, and I recommend that you use them. I'm going to use supercharged high energy fire. Supercharged is a great mod. It gives you extra stacks of charge with light. So this is a charge with light build. There's no reason you couldn't use wells or something else if you wanted to, if you want to use the little wells. I am not going to use a rocket launcher here, though. I'm going to switch to a linear fusion. I don't really think I'm going to use a exotic here. You could use Telesto if you want. Caution, it may cause mass devastation to the game, your computer. It's a little joke if you follow all the problems that Telesto causes. So you want a bow. For the first part, you definitely want a bow. And I'll go ahead and switch to that. I think I'm otherwise pretty well lined up for this. You could use just about any resistance mod if you want. Solar might help in some sections of this, but mainly you want to maximize your fusion. So I'd say if you're doing this challenge during Season of the, I almost said Festival of the Lost, but Season of the Lost, you definitely want to use this the fusion mod, particle destruction, as much as possible. All right, so I'll go ahead and launch it, and we'll see how this goes. I'll try to talk my way through this as much as I can, explain to you what it is I'm trying to accomplish. You'll want a bow here, though, and I think the bow is really the only absolute necessity. I use Null Composure just because if you get Reservoir Burst... Oh, and you want to make sure to have Taken Spec on your weapons, so I'm actually going to switch this. That's actually a bigger boost than, let's say, the boss spec or something like that, so make sure that you have the Taken Spec equipped. I've always loved how you can see the end point from the beginning. So that's where we're headed right there. And that's a design principle that Bungie's followed in a couple of the dungeons. It's also true in Pit. Prophecy, arguably, you see the end where you begin, since you're seeing the Kel Echo throughout. That's sort of the unifying idea, but it's not the same geography. I am super excited though for the new dungeon on December 7th. So you could use a Wither Horde here if you really wanted to. Maybe Wither Horde plus an energy. Alright, that curlfish is to the right. I probably should have stopped somewhere and gotten some ammo, but hopefully I'll get some drops here. We'll see. You do now, of course, have the infinite ammo for primaries, which is a great change. Thank you, Bungie. Oh, I thought that was heavy there for a second. You know what? I always get stuck on little trees and planters and things like that in this. This part is one of the worst. What is it that I get stuck on? Usually that tree. I'm gonna have a do as I say, not as I do moment, or as I did, but you should probably take out these guys as soon as you get in. This being a little bit neglectful, but the archers don't seem like a big deal, but they'll definitely take your health away at a relatively quick clip. Okay, dragon. It's a little bit of a shortcut to go this way. You'll get these guys. Okay, so you just saw that one on the left teleported. Be very cautious. There should be 4 in total. 2 here and then 2 up top. But I don't know when the code changed. I don't know if it's just you know, some error that developed over time, or if it was on purpose. But you'll have scenarios now where one of those phalanxes from down there will teleport up there. So if you can kill them early on, just take them out. Get rid of them. Don't bother. You don't want them coming back to haunt you, particularly when you are up at the bird, the boring bird. I remember doing my first solo of this back during the first season it was available, and the ads hit much harder. We have a lot of things too that we didn't have them. Stasis, for example. And there was no reset button. So I feel like one of the reasons that I improved at this relatively rapidly was the fact that I had, even if I died and a flawless run was ruined, I had to finish it. Sometimes I could get a friend to drop in and help me, but I need a little ammo. This guy is probably my least favorite mini boss. He just seems much more teleporty than the others and can be really aggravating. Okay. I didn't get a great speedrun layout here for these, but so boring bird is up there. So that's where I'm headed. If you want to stop here and take out the the snipers, that's not a bad strategy. Just because I know I'm going to have to come back here for a couple of other... I'm going to have to come back here for Infinity Snake. Be careful with that mini boss too, because he'll start to spam you with whatever that void aftershot is called. I'm not sure what the official name of it is, but that can reduce your health very, very quickly. Alright, W. You can actually do this one from a position of safety if you want. You can just sit up here and shoot all this stuff. Hopefully you hit more shots than I do. I'll pick it up just because you probably want to know what it is. Ooh, Foe Tracer. Alright. This one, I've got to go across the map yet again. I'm going to pick up this heavy ammo brick. You can, if you have this combination, this goes back to... This goes back to Infinity. So the W snake and the Infinity snake are linked. If you take that little back hallway. And this should take me to the yin yang here. This mini boss is pretty stupid. He'll wander out here eventually. They're starting to line up a little bit better for me. I'm not having to run quite as far. Infinity's just this other direction. I'll take the slow old man route. Be very careful with this boss. You'll get the void, a little void ball spam. If you're not aggressive with it. Okay, so that's the last. I'll show you a couple of different options here. So if you want to take a more aggressive line with this next part, at this point you should switch to middle. You're going to do flawless execution to kind of skip there's a long cathedral looking hallway. I'll show you how to do it. I probably won't do it just because I don't know that I'm really feeling it, but I'll show you how to do it if you want. If you want to give it a try. And I don't know if I showed you this, but this is the threaded needle I'm using. It's got Vorpal on it. If you don't have one yet, you need to grind for one of these. It is so strong. We are mid-November right now, so you're gonna have another, gosh, few months, like 2.5 months, to use a good threaded needle with particle destruction. Um, so particle deconstruction, excuse me. So you want to make sure to have that. Get something with Vorpal. If you get triple tap, that's fine. I like Clown, but... And then the other strat here, if you want, you can switch to something solar. I don't have anything solar. Oh, I do have I have a Vex, but I'm gonna keep my bow on. Let me also show you one other thing that you may want to try. Yeah, that's fine for now. I'll show you a couple of different routes. If you want to do kind of a speedier route, do this. So you come down the steps a little bit, and I'm aiming for this little... I'll see if I can get it. Nope, okay. I might die here, we'll see. Nope, I survived it. You can... That wraps around the outside, but... As you can see, there's a little bit of risk in that. If you don't make the jump. Yeah, I don't think I can get back up there to show you, but... You can go to that ledge and then wrap around the stones there. And if I were going for a speed run, but what I mean, I'm not talking about an official speed run where, you know, you're skipping Vorgath and trying to get sub 12 minute. But if I'm trying to go fast, maybe high teens, low 20s, I'll take that route because I can skip all of these ads. I don't know who at Bungie thought of this, but they put a pretty nasty enemy right here. Usually he's hiding right here. Just be aware when you come up those steps, if you take this route, that you're going to have to deal with that guy. Get the Invis Minotaurs. The big downside, though, you saw I switched to Middle Tree NIGHTSTALKER. The big downside now is you don't have as much invis. You crouch and get headshots, so... Just make sure to kill the Minotaurs on both sides. That boss used to be way tougher, but I would switch here to a sniper. Like I said, I'll show you a way to get through this relatively quickly if you don't want to have to kill every single ad. You'll need a bow, though. You'll need stompies, which I still have on, should have on. You want a weapon with lightweight, so it doesn't have to be a bow, but I prefer a bow. But have something with lightweight. You're going to need that extra mobility. So you're going to come up here. I'll try to get this. Switch to my bow. Switch back to the sniper. Pick out the target, crouch. And I picked out the ads of the upper left. I'm just used to doing that, but you can see this is the fastest way to do it. And by the time you get here, you should be relatively safe. You might get shot in the back a little bit. But that's it. You don't have to then, if you do it that way, you don't have to... You don't have to kill all those ads. Now you'll see I'm doing another little sort of shortcut here. If you want to kill all these ogres and all that, you can. That's a little bit safer. But if you now there are a couple of different configurations you can get in here too. So you saw the blight things. Here you've got a couple options. If you want to pop your super here, you can just run by this ogre, but just be aware that if you take that route, you're going to have to either invis around it or you're going to have to kill it. And I have a little bit of super left for this part. It's good for traversal. I didn't totally maximize it, but... if you just keep moving here, if you don't stop to kill any ads, you should be okay. If you're nervous about this, though, you can put on something like Worm Husk and use your dodge to get some health back. But normally, like I said, if you just keep moving here, you don't dilly-dally, you won't have any issues. I don't even... did I even get hit there? I don't think I did. But... all right. So this is another checkpoint if you get to this point. I usually get up here just because these guys sometimes will run at you still. I'm going to switch over to Chattering Bone. This, for me, it's a lightweight weapon, but it's just one I've always used. I mean, for however many years this has been around, I've always used it. If you want to use a scout, if you want to keep using a bow, go right on ahead. You don't need... Chattering Bone is not an absolute necessity. I'm just used to it. I'm a creature of habit, so that's what I'm using. So here you want to switch. I'd go back with Null Composure. And then I'm going to go with 1K. And you again, now you have some choices to make. Oh, I should have done this earlier, but you want to switch back to top tree. You want to get your invis back. If you want to do bottom tree, if you're more comfortable with that, you like smoke, you want to dodge around ads, I just recommend that you have invis in some capacity for Vorgeth. Vorgeth, look, it's usually the run stopper. It's usually where if people get frustrated and quit or they stop doing this, it's usually Vorgeth is the problem. So I'm not really a foe tracer user. Okay, so going back to what I was saying before, you can stay on Stompies if you want, or you can do what I'm going to do. I want to use Supercharged, but then I'm going to go back to 6th Coyote. I think having an extra dodge here, an extra invis opportunity, makes Vorgeth quite a bit easier. So, plus, I like the reload option that I get. So when I can fire my 1000, my 1K shots, and then I can move. Bear in mind that 1K, though, if you end up going with 1K, that's a fusion. Nice thing is you get the one fusion reserves gives you both if you're using Null and 1K. So that's pretty good. All right, I feel fine about this. Line up, this loadout. You can go inside the building there if you want. You have a few phalanxes to kill, but... okay, I'm going to try to get ammo. You can, if you want to just run up there and go invis, you can go straight in the door. You don't have to kill any of these guys. But I'm going to be slow. Alright, so I'm here at Vorgeth, and I'm going to walk you through how I tend to do this. I don't quite have as much ammo as I'd like. Got 3 shots and 1K. I'm gonna use 6 Coyote for a little extra damage, or excuse me, an extra dodge. Invis. You can use Stompies here though if you want. It's not a bad route to take. There are a few different ways to do this. You can be very aggressive. You could just clear each one as you go, work your way around the map. But I'm going to show you a little more conservative way to do this. With particle deconstruction, a one phase is relatively easy. I mean, anything can happen, but I'm going to leave that one as it is. You see this little bunny hop technique that I'm using? That's a great... It's a great technique in a lot of difficult content. Or at least content that you can... If you can die relatively easy, it's a good technique to use. So as you can see, I'm just trying to work my way around the map. Take out ads at each part. That petitioner is fine. This one... Yeah, okay. I'm still not really happy with my level of heavy ammo. 3 shots is not really going to be a great damage phase, but... Okay. Those little fireballs that they throw at you can really ruin your day quickly, so be careful with those. Okay, so keep in mind, once you kill a petitioner, you've started the process. I'm actually going to go this way, just because I want to do damage from that side. So I'm just going to retrace my steps a little bit here. I'm hoping that... Oh, okay, good. I got some heavy ammo. That'll help a bit. Could really use one more brick, though. If I could get 8 shots, I'd feel pretty good about a 1 phase. Alright. Got 3. Oh, goodness. It's a veritable cornucopia of heavy ammo. Alright, so you can kind of hide behind this little pillar, half pillar, whatever that is. And then when you're good and ready, you've got your ammo all sorted out, you can go for this land here. Be careful there, as you can see. Nope, no 1 phase. It's a tricky thing with Hunter. If I had my Titan, I could Thunder Crash. But here you're totally reliant upon your heavy ammo stores, so... Alright, so I'm just bunny hopping my way back to my starting point. And becoming proficient at this part really it just demands that you get a good sense of how the map works and knowing the positions where you can stand and get away with ad clear, things like that. The difficulty and the reason this part's frustrating is you can get killed from so many different angles. So you see already, for example, I'm getting shot from a couple of different sides. But you just want to try to incrementally clear out the ads. I see that brick. If I had a little more ammo, I could just take a more direct route with this and speed things up, but I I don't at this juncture. So I'm gonna have to play a little more conservatively here for a second. Okay. I think I've got enough ammo I can do it this way. Plus I've already killed some ads, so. Alright, that should be 2. Uh-oh. Kind of wanted to dodge there, but I don't have one. Okay, so I've already used that end. One of the dangers is if you don't keep moving, he'll just kind of get you in that push. And if you want to prime them a little bit with your fusion rifle, you can do that. I would stay with this exact lineup though for now. This exact this loadout. However, just as I say that, go ahead and switch to Stompies. And before you head out, go ahead and look for ammo. I'll keep this traversal part in the guide for you, just in case you want to know kind of how to speed through it a little bit. You've only got the 1 dodge invis if you take off 6th Coyote, but I think Stompies here is a much better choice just because of the mobility increase. Plus, you functionally will need them when you get to the skip. If you've done this before or attempted it before and you had to do that outside blast wall, there's a very easy way to, well, there's a way to skip it. I won't say it's very easy. It's a little bit risky, but this part, just go invis, turn to your right, and then you just keep running forward. I still have Chattering Bone on. That's a lightweight frame. It gives me a mobility boost, so at this point I've got a lot of mobility. Get in the portal and then turn 180. There used to be a group of ads here. They just disappeared one season. I don't know why, but they're not here. But you will get some captains here that can be a bit of a nuisance. Just be careful. Don't let them blast you too much. But you can generally run by everything if you're careful. So that blind jump was fun. Just go up the right side. There's no ads over there. And you're into the elevator. You might be saying though, hold on, you might be worried I don't have any ammo. That's okay, because I'm going to get some at a later moment. So this is the Thrallway. Of course, those of you who use these for catalysts, like me, you know the Thrallway well. Okay, so this is the skip. And you have to be a little bit tricky. Try to get on the end of this route. 2, 3. and you're straight across. You want to aim. Let's see if the light will help me out a little bit here. There's a root right there. Right there. You want to kind of run out onto the end of that root and then jump and aim, you know, for about there. If you want, I don't think that's any more or less risky than going outside. You can take the long route. Here's where I can get some ammo. You can take the longer route if you want. There's just, it's a big blast wall and there's more ads to kill, so it depends on your you know, your risk reward. All right, so here I am at Dolankaru. I'm going to use a Fatebringer with Firefly, Taken Spec, Reservoir Burst on the Null Composure. This will also take out the Knights pretty quickly. And then Threaded Needle. It should take me, depending on my Charge with Light status when I get to Dolankaru, I should be able to take about 8 shots. 8 headshots with Threaded Needle at 3 times the buff. And it should be all over. I'm going to use 6 Coyote here for the extra dodge. Back in the day when you could get your super back, you could fire off multiple tethers. You'd want to use Orpheus Rig, but we are nowhere near those days anymore. So I'd say just try to increase your survivability and your mobility. All right, so make sure that you have particle deconstruction. That's the real key here. And we're going to want to take out a couple of sets of ads here. So there are the ads that will spawn back here. They'll move across. I'm hoping they'll come forward. Then I can tether. I'm going to use tether to kill the Knights, the Fate Smiths here. And I also strongly encourage you, use what you've got. If you've got something with Firefly or Dragonfly, take out these ads too. But I'm hoping that they're all going to kind of collapse from here to here, here to here, all get caught in the tether. I can take them all out together, maybe with just one Reservoir Burst Null Composure shot. We'll see how it goes. I say that because the AI is not 100% consistent. Sometimes those ads just stay in the back of the room, closer to Dolankaru, and they won't get tethered, so I have to kind of piecemeal take them out. So we'll see how this works. So I'm going to put a shot of Null Composure into each Knight and see what happens. So that's all 3. Plenty of time left, 30 seconds. That's it. The only tricky part there is at the very beginning. You want to make sure you get all of the ads out of the way. Use your tether to your advantage. And get everything dead that needs to be dead. Collect those orbs. Give yourself 25-30 seconds. Although you see with if you have a decent Threaded Needle with Vorpal, Taken Spec, it really only takes a few shots. That particle deconstruction starts to kick in, and you're getting big damage on DI. So I had a good amount of ammo left. Yeah, I mean I had 13 more shots, so it was 7 shots. If you want to use a couple of your Threaded Needle shots on the Fate Smiths, you can. But I hope that guide's helpful to you. I know there's not much. I know a lot of people run Hunter, but since this again is an old Triumph and an old challenge, there's not a whole lot of new content coming out for it, but I hope you see something helpful here. I'm happy to talk strats with you. So I appreciate you watching, appreciate the likes, and hope you all have a really, really fun and safe holiday season.